Now that we're at the jet washing stage, there's 3 different options here. Either use the large surface cleaner if you've got a large area to clean and you want a universal and, in all honesty, a quicker option. This is the best thing to use. If you've got individual bits like chewing gum or graffiti that you really need to apply extra pressure to, that's when you want to use this lance. And then if you've got any high to reach or difficult to reach spots, that's when you want to use the power pole. Before you get started with the jet washing, there's 3 things you need to make sure of. First of all, make sure that there's water in the tank. The jet wash will not run if there's no water in the tank. It has a valve that stops the jet wash unit from running, and it will cut off as soon as it drops below a certain point. This is to protect the engine and to make sure that you actually have water in there in the first place. The second thing is make sure that there's enough fuel. So you can see the fuel gauge on the right hand side. It's got a very simple diesel badge there just to make sure that you know what it is. Make sure that's full up with fuel before you start using it. And the third thing is you need to make sure that there is something connected to the end of the hose before you start it up, otherwise the water will come straight out of here. To operate the rear porthole door feature, you want to make sure that, again, this is released on this side. Pull it out so that there's enough. This stop here will not be able to pass through. So you can remove this if you like to, but we like to put it on there to stop anything going back too far past here. Shut the door. Feed it through. Make sure that you then attach the lance onto the end of it. This is quick release, so it's just simple as pushing that onto there. And now you're ready to get going with the jet washing. When it comes to starting up the jet wash, you need to get inside the rev controller. That's max rev, and then that's minimum rev. For most normal jet washing scenarios, you want to ensure that it's about medium. When you've got those jobs that are really difficult or are really stubborn, that's when you want to dial it right up. That's for things like graffiti or chewing gum. The other thing that controls the pressure is this regulator here. So again, you want to make sure it's about in the middle. You don't need it too high and you don't need it too low when it's just operating normal use. If you've got those difficult jobs, that's when you want to crank it right up to the max pressure that it will go to, which is about 350 bar or about 5,000 PSI. When it comes to starting it, you hear the fans kick in. So that's the ventilation to ensure that it doesn't overheat. You want to make sure that the glow plugs, that light is turned off before you start it up. And that's ready to go. So to operate the burner for the higher temperature, it's as simple as turning it on and then cranking it up to whatever temperature you want to operate at. If you're doing large areas with the large surface cleaner, you want to operate at about 90 degrees. If you're struggling to get rid of things like graffiti and chewing gum, that's when you want to turn it up to max, but we really don't recommend operating at full bore, high pressure for long periods, as this can wear down the seals and deteriorate the lifespan of the jet wash unit. For most features and for most jobs, you want to be operating at about 90 degrees, or even up to 50 degrees is enough to give that extra benefit of the heat. When it comes to turning it off, it's very important not to just switch off the jet wash machine and then switch these dials off. You want to make sure that the water has had a chance to cool down and the burner has had a chance to cool down at the end of the shift. So for a couple of minutes, make sure that you turn the burner feature off and leave it running for 3 to 4 minutes to make sure that the burner unit doesn't start clogging up. If you don't run it through afterwards, that's when you can start to get some reliability issues. Before you can change over any of the lances or take any of the lances off at the end of the shift, you have to release all of the back pressure before it enables you to take it off, which is quick release, and it's ready to go.